Hi, welcome back to my cozy corner of the internet. Today we're diving into the second part of my favorite games, and this time it's only gonna be cozy games. I've played a lot of cozy games, many of them were horrible, but these ones are the best of the best, at least for me. Each of these games have a very special place in my heart. To me, they're more than just entertainment, they're like a little emotional escape. They're a way to reconnect with myself, and most importantly, they're my coping mechanism. As I said, this is the second video I'm making for my favorite games. The first part was my non-cozy favorite games list, and if you're interested in watching that video as well, I'll link it in the description box. I wanted to make a separate list for the cozy games because they literally took more than half of the other lists. Now grab a drink and get cozy, and I'll talk to you about my favorite cozy games of all time. Starting with A Short Hike. This game is about as cozy as it gets. You play as a little bird named Claire, who's hiking up a mountain to find cell reception. But it's so much more than that. The peaceful exploration, the beautiful art style, the way you can glide through the air and take in the scenery. Honestly, A Short Hike feels like a breath of fresh air. When I played it, I felt like I escaped into a little piece of nature. It's one of those games that makes me slow down, appreciate the beauty around me, and just breathe. It reminds me that sometimes life doesn't need to be rushed, and it's okay to take things at your own pace. Next up, we have Teacup. This is such a gentle game about a shy little frog who's preparing for a tea party. Look, even that description of the game makes me want to scream from cuteness overwhelm. Anyway, our little frog is out of ingredients, so she goes around her town asking neighbors for help. It's so charming, and it has this lovely watercolor art style. Also, it's comforting to see a character who is shy and introverted making connections in her own quiet way. It's just a very cute, sweet, short game with a character I related to. Coffee Talk is another game that feels like therapy in game form. Set in a rainy Seattle cafe, you play as a barista serving drinks and listening to customers' stories. They come in with their own struggles, dreams, and heartaches, and somehow just listening to them makes you feel so connected. I love how each drink you make has a little impact on their story. Coffee Talk is a game that really reminds me how important it is to just be there for others, even if it's just by listening. It's one of those games that make you reflect on the connections in your own life. The next game is Celeste. Now, Celeste isn't exactly a typical cozy game, it's actually a very challenging platformer, but the journey of climbing Celeste Mountain is deeply personal. We play as Madeline, who's trying to overcome self-doubt, anxiety, and fear to reach the top. The way Celeste handles mental health feels incredibly real and relatable. It's such a hard game, but every time when I completely climbed an area, I felt this immense sense of accomplishment. It's a game that literally helped me believe in myself, like, if I can, as Madeline, climb this mountain, maybe I can tackle my own actual struggles too. Also, the soundtrack. I played this game over 6 years ago now, and the soundtrack is still on repeat, very often. It's probably the best soundtrack ever. My next favorite is Florence. Florence is a short but incredibly moving game. It tells the story of a young woman's first love through these simple but beautifully designed minigames. Every moment feels so relatable. It's almost like watching scenes from your own life play out. From the butterflies of falling in love to the heartbreak of moving on, it captures those emotions so well. Florence is one of those games that makes me feel so deeply. It's a reminder of how important it is to let ourselves feel every part of our lives, even the sad parts. I loved it so much, even made my mom play it, and that must tell you something. Now, Gone Home. Gone Home is another game that brings all the feels. You arrive home after a year abroad to find your family missing, and you piece together their stories by exploring the house. There's this feeling of nostalgia and warmth, even though there's a bit of mystery too. I mean, the game actually even starts like a horror game because you're home alone in the dark, but there's actually nothing scary in it, don't worry. It's a cozy mystery, but with so much heart. Next up, we have It Takes Two. Now, It Takes Two is such a fun game to play with someone special. Of course, you can play it with a friend, but I really recommend playing it with your partner. And if you don't have one, wait until you meet the love of your life, or maybe if you never want a relationship, then play it with a friend. I swear, playing it with a romantic partner is just making the experience times better, I think. So, this is a co op game about a couple who are trying to repair their relationship, and every part of the gameplay reflects that. It's funny, charming, and incredibly heartwarming. Honestly, it's more than just a game, it's a bonding experience. Playing it reminds me of how important it is to work together, to support each other. It's a game that makes you feel more connected to the person you play with. Next game is A New Life. This is an interactive fiction game where you follow the life of two women as they navigate love, family, and growing old together. It's intimate, quiet, and beautifully written. Playing it made me reflect on my relationships, on all the little choices that shape our lives. A New Life shows that even simple, everyday moments can be filled with meaning. Next game is Night in the Woods. If the fall season was a game, I think it would be definitely Night in the Woods. This game follows May, who returns to her small town and reconnects with her friends. There's this underlying sadness as she deals with feelings of failure, loneliness, and belonging. The characters feel so real, they're flawed but lovable. I guess this is a recurring theme with my favorite games. The characters are just so relatable and human. Playing Night in the Woods feels like sitting around with friends, sharing stories, and feeling less alone. Next favorite is Our Life. This is a visual novel and it's also free to play. This game is a personal favorite for its ability to let you explore a deeply emotional journey in a low stakes, nurturing way. Our Life is all about growing up alongside your best friend, Ko, who feels like a fully real person by the time you finish the story. You make choices that build a relationship over the years, giving you complete control over how your character feels and grows. It's the type of game that lets you relax while still immersing you in powerful emotions, and I mean really powerful emotions. If you ever wanted a game that lets you feel friendship and love in the most organic way, Our Life is so perfect. Now we have When the Past Was Around. This point and click game is a stunning, heart wrenching experience. The story follows a young woman named Ida as she navigates love, loss, and memories of her partner. The game guides you through beautiful hand drawn scenes that make each puzzle feel like an exploration of her memories. It's wordless yet deeply impactful, making you reflect on your own relationships and memories in a way that only a few games can. Truly such a good game. Next game is Dreamfall Chapters. Whenever I think about this game, I want to cry because of how nostalgic it is for me. This is a narrative choose your own adventure game that combines fantasy with a bit of sci fi. This game lets you live between worlds, exploring dreamlike realms filled with rich lore and compelling characters. It's seriously such a perfect game if you love feeling completely absorbed by a game's world and characters. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yes, next game is Animal Crossing New Horizons, and you probably saw this one coming. This game is literally what will come up when you search cozy game. I'm kind of sad this game got released during COVID because now I always associate it with that period, but also that is why the game got this popular and allowed us to connect with each other, and it protected many people's sanity during that time. So next game I have is We Are OFK. I feel like if I play this game now, it probably wouldn't be a favorite. It would probably a 9 out of 10, but at the time I gave it a 10, so here it is. It's still a great game that is a unique blend of interactive storytelling and music, giving us a peek into the lives of a band trying to make it in LA. This is literally like an interactive TV show and there's barely any gameplay, but I loved it since the game dives into these characters' struggles, friendships, and love lives, making it easy to get attached to them. Next game is Pure Vibes. It's Sayonara Wild Hearts. This game combines music, stunning visuals, and it's an exhilarating, fast-paced rhythm game. It's cozy in an unconventional way because it lets you escape and feel empowered while guiding a character through heartbreak. Each level feels like a song come to life, and while it's action packed, there's something calming about getting into the rhythm and letting yourself go with the flow. I was in awe when I first played this game. I was just so mesmerized, and I think it's such a unique game. The next game is Disney Dreamlight Valley. So Disney Dreamlight Valley is not loved by many, and I can see why if I take Disney characters out of the equation, but with the Disney characters, I think this game is a dream come true for Disney fans like me. So imagine Animal Crossing, but with all your favorite Disney and Pixar characters. It's my go-to game when I need to turn my brain off and relax. My next favorite game is Before Your Eyes. This is one of the saddest games I've ever played. You play the game by blinking, which moves the story forward and symbolizes the passage of time. It's a narrative driven game that explores life, memories, and the fleeting nature of our experiences. It's cozy in its introspection and gentleness, even as it reminds us the preciousness of each moment. This is also one of those games that make you go, oh yeah, games are truly art. Next game is such an underrated one, it's videoverse. I made countless short videos recommending this one, and I include it almost on all my cozy game recommendation videos. I just wanted to get more love. This is a game set in a gaming forum in the early 2000s. You interact with forums, chat with friends, and get immersed in a world that feels nostalgic and comforting. It's a love letter to the internet culture and friendship, making it such a cozy and engaging experience. Also, it has many endings and you can shape your own story. So, what more do I need to adore this game? Please play it. Next game I want to talk about is Goodbye Volcano High. Now, this is also another game I rated 10 because I was sad and shocked by the negative comments the game got. I think this game is more of a 9 out of 10 if I were to replay it, but I don't know. It's on my perfectly rated games list, so I'll talk about it. This is a narrative game that follows a group of dinosaur teens facing graduation and the end of the world. Again, this is like an interactive TV show with basically no gameplay. It's a story about friendship, love, and the challenges of growing up. My final favorite cozy game is Venba. This is a beautiful, culturally rich cooking game that follows an Indian family that immigrates to Canada. You play as Venba, a mother who reconnects with her heritage through food. The game combines cooking mechanics with a heartfelt story about family, tradition, and identity. It's cozy not only in its gentle gameplay, but also in the way it feels like a hug, especially if you ever felt that mix of cultures and homes. The sound design of the game was especially amazing, like I could smell the sizzling onions through my screen thanks to the sound design. Before I end the video, I want to quickly mention some games that I already mentioned on the other favorite games video I did, but they're also definitely a little cozy and they're very important to me, so I'll quickly mention them here as well. So, the Life is Strange series and Tell Me Why and Captain Spirit. They're definitely cozy, but they also have very dark themes to them, so I didn't add them to this video. Oh, and of course, Final Fantasy XIV, which is such a cozy MMO if you're looking for a relaxing online game with an amazing community. And those were all my cozy games. The ones that feel like comfort foods, the ones that make me appreciate life, that are stuck on my brain even years after I finished them. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about these games because it truly brings me so much joy to talk about the things I love. If you're interested in the less cozy side of my favorites, I'll put that video here or here, I don't know, and also in the description box. And I hope you found something for yourself in this list that will bring you joy, comfort, and an escape from your everyday life. Until next time, stay cozy and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye!